Alright, here we go again, everybody. I've changed up my outfit a little bit this time. Now we're rocking more of a Pokemon Violet look, or last time it was Scarlet version. But this is part 2 of my review, so if you missed out on part 1, I highly encourage you to go check that out first. In this video, I'll be covering the performance and graphics, followed by the story, and then we'll wrap things up with my final thoughts and review score. So, let's not waste any time and hop right into it. We've all seen this tree, right? Well, if only we knew how good we had it back then. There are moments when Scarlet Violet look pretty good, but overall, the game is a muddy mess. We all know the Nintendo Switch is capable of producing much better graphics than this. One of the most glaring examples is early in the game when the moment introduces you to the vast world you'll be exploring. It's supposed to feel like a grand, awe-inspiring moment, but instead, it looks laughably bad. Now, I'm no game developer, and I can only imagine how hard it must be to create a game at this scale. But it's obvious that they need more time to polish things up. However, there is one area where the graphics actually shine: the Pokemon models and character designs. From the moment we first saw this game, it was clear they put a lot more care into how the Pokemon look. Pokemon with scales have visible textured scales, metallic Pokemon look shiny and reflective, and facial features have depth rather than just being flat textures. Back in Sword and Shield, when they first cut the National Dex, they told us it was to create higher quality Pokemon models and animations. Whether or not that was true is still debatable, but I will say that in Scarlet and Violet, the Pokemon themselves look better than ever. The same extra level polish is also seen in character models, especially in clothing textures. They actually look like real fabric rather than just painted on designs, and that's why these models feel so out of place in the world. The environments lack the same level of detail. Honestly, to this day, I still think Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are the best looking Pokemon games on the Switch. And that's because they chose a vibrant, cartoony art style that perfectly complemented the world of Pokemon. Scarlet and Violet, on the other hand, seem to be chasing realism, but without the resources to pull it off. If they had adopted a similar stylized look, I think we'd be calling Scarlet and Violet some of the best looking Pokemon games ever. Instead, we got a lifeless, blurry world that often fails to impress. Now, I know I just ranted about graphics, but in reality, graphics aren't everything to me. I can overlook a lot, as long as the game is fun and runs well. So, how did Scarlet and Violet perform? Not too great. These games drop frames like it's going out of style. The frame rate dips constantly, and the various bugs can be the stuff of nightmares. That being said, I personally didn't experience the worst of it. My game only crashed once or twice, and I never encountered any game-breaking issues. Game Freak did release some patches to fix major bugs, but their solution to fix frame rate problems was, well, to remove Pokemon and NPC spawns from busy areas. It did help a little, but the game still struggles to maintain stable performance. Some players held on to hope that a magic patch would fix everything, but that day never came. I think the reason they never fully fixed it is because the game's engine is fundamentally flawed. Game Freak didn't have the experience or technical know-how to create an open-world Pokemon game that runs smoothly on the Switch's limited hardware. Optimization is key, and they simply didn't have enough time to get it right. At this point, I think the only real fix would be rebuilding the game from the ground up, which isn't realistic. However, I do have a small hope that when the Switch 2 comes out, its extra power will allow the game to run more smoothly, even without a dedicated performance patch. Now, onto one of the best parts of the game, the story. I'm only covering the main game here, not the DLC. Maybe I'll make a separate video about that in the future. Be warned though, spoilers ahead. The story is divided into 3 major paths: Path of Legends, tracking down 10 Pokemon and helping Arvin with his quest; Victory Road, the traditional Gym Leader and Elite 4 challenge; and Starfall Street, taking down Team Star and uncovering their backstory. Each of these storylines adds something to the greater narrative, but it's the final act of the game that truly stands out, and that's mostly what I'll be focusing on today. After completing the 3 main storylines, you and your newfound friends venture into Area 0 to uncover the truth about the Paradox Pokemon and the Professor. Area 0 is one of the coolest parts of the game. The atmosphere, the banter between characters, and the sense of mystery make it feel different from anything else in Pokemon history. Then, the big twist: the Professor is actually a robot, and the real Professor died. It was hinted at earlier, but that reveal still blew my mind. But the most intense part, the final battle against the AI Professor. The music, the tension, the Master Ball falling from the portal into the Professor's hand. It was all epic. However, Game Freak, why do we still not have voice acting? This scene would have hit so much harder with actual voice acting. Even Zelda has had some voice work done in recent games. but Pokemon still stuck in the past, it would seem. But overall, it was an epic conclusion to the story, and I loved every second of it. But with that, let's jump into my final thoughts, which should summarize my overall feelings about the game. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are some of the most ambitious Pokemon games ever made, but also some of the most flawed. Game Freak took a bold leap with its first fully open-world Pokemon game, giving players the freedom to explore at their own pace, tackle gyms in any order, and forge their own path through 3 distinct storylines. In many ways, this was the shake-up the franchise needed. But with that ambition came significant drawbacks. The open world itself is fun to explore, when it works. Traversing Paldea on Miraidon or Koraidon and discovering new Pokemon is genuinely exciting, but too often the world feels empty, lacking the secrets and environmental storytelling that make great open world games truly shine. Many towns are lifeless, buildings are just facades, and the absence of dungeons or hidden areas makes exploration feel shallow compared to classic Pokemon games. The gameplay mechanics saw some fantastic improvements though. Terra raid battles are a blast, building competitive teams has never been easier, and quality of life changes like move relearning from the menu were much needed evolutions for the series. The new Pokemon designs were also strong overall, with standouts like Skeleturge, Annihilate, and Ceruledge instantly becoming fan favorites. However, Scarlet and Violet are held back by technical shortcomings. Performance issues are impossible to ignore. Frame rate drops, hop-in textures, and immersion-breaking glitches make this feel like a game that simply wasn't ready for release. And while the Pokemon and character models received extra polish, the rest of the world looks like an unfinished tech demo, making the visual experience incredibly inconsistent. Despite these flaws, the story stands out as one of the best in the series. Arin's emotional journey, Team Star's misunderstood outcasts, and the mind-blowing final act in Area Zero provides some of the strongest storytelling we've seen in Pokemon. The final battle against AI Sada Ortoro is one of the most intense moments in Pokemon history, proving that when Game Freak focuses on narrative, they can deliver something truly special. Ultimately, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are great games wrapped in a messy package. They push the series forward in important ways, but they also stumble where it matters most. If Game Freak had given this project more time to cook, polishing the world, fixing performance, and fine-tuning the gameplay, this could have been one of the best Pokemon games ever made. That's why I give Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 7 Terra Orbs out of 10. It's a good game, but it had the potential to be amazing. So, what did you think of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Were you able to overlook the performance issues and still enjoy the adventure? Or did the technical problems take away from the experience? Did you love the open world freedom, or did you find it a little too empty? And what were your favorite new Pokemon introduced in these games? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps out the channel and lets me know you want to see more content like this. And if you're new here, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss out on future Pokemon discussions, reviews, and playthroughs. But I just want to take a second to thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support. It really means the world to me. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Wake up to a brand new day. Pack my bag, I'm on my way. Paldea's waiting wide and free. A world of dreams ahead of me. Through the mountains, cross the plains, riding high through sun.